Halluha, halalahay, rasmi. Small town Didi or Khadian these year internet sakastraha and bakalau yala. I tried to find some trending topics and not really they aren't there. But one of my mates dropped by during the week and guy mate and he dropped by to see me. He had a thing around the area and stuff, and we sat in here and we had the longest of chats because he is quite the conversationalist. I think that's the word he is. And we got to talking about, like, he's married um to a lovely lady. Hey girl, hey. And then we were talking about just the fact that because I don't desire that, and what then is in his mind. He's like, I grew up in such a Christian home and stuff, and it's like, to me that's always been the no-brainer and the natural progression of stuff. And we got to talking about quite a bunch of things, and then eventually we landed on the importance of money, really, because he was like, I'm sorry, he was understanding that my value of this thing is very much um rooted in the fact that it is an economic transaction to me, and I often feel like we get the raw deal, so it's just not a good contract to me. It's just not a good deal to me and stuff. And then he's like, you really one of those people that has, like, essentially deduced this to um money and or relationships of the romantic kind, or especially between men and women, being about money and stuff. And I was like, listen to me, when you have a child and you have a girl, do not do that little girl the injustice of trying to, like, make her think there's other things more important. I said to him, the same value we assign anything else we see as so important, we need to start teaching our black girls that. And every time I've seen a street interview, one of these, oh, is money important in a relationship? How important is money in a relationship? If I find a clip of one, I'll put it here so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
How important is money to you in a relationship?
It's important. It's not that big a deal.
So you'll be with a broke person.
Not for
no
long.
money.
You have to try.
And you give them an allowance in the meantime?
I'm not gonna lie. I do a whole bunch of stupid shit when I'm in love.
Not important at all. I feel like them being in a relationship with me, I could get them to where they need to be, so that money's not a problem.
Go, y'all, write it out. I know I'm not one for sure. I will never write it down, but we have this lot. How important is money to you in a relationship?
It's everything. If you don't have any money, then it's just what's the point?
Ooh. I mean, it's not the number one thing, but I'm not gonna lie, like, it's kind of important. But you don't have to have a lot of money, but at least have a plan to work toward getting money. Like, don't just be a bum ass dude sitting at home doing nothing.
You're not giving nobody no allowances.
Hell no. Get your ass a job.
Invest.
Great. I noticed that it's always the black girls that are even scared to entertain the thought of how important money is in a relationship. Yet, if you look at the reasons why people break up, the infidelity, finances is right up there. So I don't understand this this need we have to downplay its importance. And we do it, I mean, I do understand. We do it especially to black girls. It's the black girls who feel like, right? Because even if you don't have the words for it, you understand, like, the structural barriers that are set in place to keep black people from economic freedom by way of, like, acquiring means, like by monetary means, right? Like, you are aware at the back of your mind that you're starting at the very, like, back end. So you almost want to extend this person whom you think you naturally need to partner with, which is a black man. You extend them the grace you extend yourself, because you understand how hard it is to claw your way out of that situation. And to that, I say, cut it the fuck out. Okay? Because they don't extend that to you, right? Black men, all this understanding you're doing of, like, their financial situation is this, and you're this understanding girlfriend, and then you don't ask for flowers, or you're not like, hey, I really do like flowers, and hey, I really do like going here, because he needs to budget. Well, okay, he needs to draw that in the fucking budget, like real. La bona ba understanding girlfriend, bidiwa ke borena fela. The black girl is literally the only one, and a few damn white bitches, stupid, who are doing the scene. Then they end up like on TikTok in one room, raising 6 children and pregnant with the seventh. That's what happens to those white girls. Dumb. Real white girls don't do that. Real Indian girl, don't do that. They know this because when it's said and done, even if you don't have this expectation of a man, especially a black man, he still has the expectation of you to perform your gendered role. And that's really my entire gripe, where we have the issue where it's like, why are we shamed out of saying this thing is important? I want this thing. It's going to provide a security of sorts for me. If I'm to get pregnant and I have to take, I'm self-employed. If I take time off work, baby, that's it. It's no money. I'm not seeing a cent. Not a cent. Now, if I'm experiencing an ailment of sorts or a pregnancy or whatever, and I'm not able to use my vessel, that is my body, to make this money, can this person carry us and see us through? Why must I be shamed out of asking that or looked at crazy like it's not that important? Let's talk about the fact that we don't even talk about money in these relationships with people. Like, you start dating somebody, within 6 months, you guys are like handing each other cards. People know this one's password. We're swiping. There's blurred lines as to like whose things belong to who. And then there was no explicit conversation there to say, hey, but like, what you working with? Like, what you really getting paid out there? Some of you get married, and don't lie now. You get married and you don't really know how much the other person is earning. Not really. If you're a woman, lie about it. By the way, I strongly believe in that. Okay, don't ever let the man know how much you're making, because they weird. They're weird about that shit. Especially if you can like deduce that you're making more than him, and tell him you're allowed to lie about that. Rakadi is giving you permission to lie about that. They're weird. They're weird as fuck. They think they need to go cheat on you with like a self-employed bitch who has 0 rands to her name. The moment they realize that you, I don't. Black men aren't allowed, and I say black men because I'm talking to black girls, because I'm seeing, every time I've seen any of these clips, it's the black girl, and like they shriek a little bit, they're a bit scared, even if you know the answer is yes. Money is like very, very, it's the most important thing, because love won't see you through. Love will not sustain you. This person is a stranger. What will sustain you is when you are annoyed with this person, to use money to get away from them a little bit and then come back when you need money for that. And I'm not talking, what I was saying to my maid, we're not all gonna get a wealthy man. I'm not talking about, I'm not Shira. Like, I'm not sprinkle with this shit. I'm saying it cannot be come as you are. On account of, one, this is not the church. Two, we're not Jesus. Like, it's like, come as you were with money. Different. Like, same but different. Just what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh my God, people need to, I live in the real world, guys, right? And I caution against this culture of sprinkle and being heavily reliant on the exchange of it all and all of that stuff. But we cannot get away that element of exchange is very much just like a cornerstone of this shit. Like, it's very much part of how it operates, even though we want to walk around it and talk about it. Like, talk around it and make like, oh, it's not this and it really just is. I just want us to raise our black girls with these standards now, to say it's okay to have an expectation. You should, because most of them that's all they're gonna be able to offer you anyway, right? That's the other conversation. Teaching girls that more often than not, you probably need to supplement your other needs that you require in a romantic partner. You're gonna have to overly rely on your friendships to see to some of those emotional needs, because they don't got it. They like, it's beat out of them. So if they're not even gonna bring all of that, what the fuck do you mean love? What are you talking about, love? We have no standards for the girls. I shared like a short with you guys just the other day of the kids on the young girls on the teen girls on Teenage Mom, which is now, I mean, that show, the Degeneracy, there is so much conversation to have there, and it cannot be me. I can't touch it right now. I can't do it. I've got a lot going on. Okay, but I was like, um reeled into that world of degenerate, like, reality television. And there's a lot to talk about in terms of platforming that kind of stuff. And what do we do? Is it good? Is it just the real? All of that, there's a lot to chat about there. It can't be today. It cannot be today. Let's get to the contents of what was being displayed. These young girls, there's like two of them. I think one of them is Kumo. I don't know what you're rich and girl, but it's not smart. And the thing is, I want to, like, watch my words, like I said in my short, because they're so young. At the same time, they remind me of grown women whom I've been friends with since we're in high school, who still very much move in this man kind of way because they just don't outgrow it. I've said to you guys, I said in the short as well, that I really believe that sometimes if you start messing with your brain and boys early on, you don't develop outside of it. Like, it can be so consuming, and you just find yourself in this, like, toxic cycle, just like Jennifer Lopezing, like, next man, ring after, just don't know how to be alone, all of that stuff. And then you don't know how to hold a good conversation because you have no references for stuff. You don't know stuff. You know this boy or the, like, boys, and it's just, you are a hard person to be in community. Oh my God, I have a friend like this. I do. And she can sometimes just be like, it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah? Type of thing. I think she's getting better. If I'm being faithful, hey friend, I love you. She's getting better. Not all of my friends are gonna wonder if they're that. But if you gotta wonder, bitch, I love you guys. But anyway, Kumo and this other girl are dating this Baroki who lives in, like, a shack. Well, they all come from, like, very sad situations, and then they're, like, pregnant, and they're both pregnant. It's like a little ghetto twin situation, like, showing up there. And then they are in this shack with this boy, and they are, why is that the standard for our young girls? First of all, why are they okay? I feel like even if you live in a township like me, there's certain things, there's a certain guy in the same ghetto where I just will be like, no, that is going to just create more poverty for me. That's going to keep me stuck in this. Maybe there's another guy, same environment as me, but he seems a little bit more serious about school, or this guy's serious about, like, getting his shit together, or he's got a job, or even in your dire circumstance, the teaching should still be to aspire to the cream of the crop in that situation, because you will be mined for labor regardless. So you cannot think of it in terms of, like, Kumo is doing and that other girl. They are dating this brokey. He lives in a shack and they've now made babies with him, and he's dating both of them. And he gives them rings, and they're so happy and excited about these lucky packet rings that he's given them. They think they're engaged to a dude. He doesn't even have a job he goes to, guys. His own mom keeps telling him about, like, dude, you need a job. You can't tell me that you're hustling. You've got 2 kids now. How are you going to be raising these kids? Like, what do you mean? That doesn't happen if you are being raised by, and this is how the Shira 7 stuff finds its way. Do you understand? Do you see how it's these dire circumstances where we teach the girls, but, like, we don't arm them as we should, teaching them that it is quite literally the transaction. The sprinkle girls are a little bit delusional. Sometimes they think they're gonna find love and things like that, and they don't understand that, no, this is, like, straightforward boom prostitution. That's why I can't get behind it, because not everybody wants to do sex work, and the girls who want to do sex work, I'm team the girls doing what the girls want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Within reason, there's still conversations to have around there as well, where I'm just like, what are the circumstances that bring you here? What does this feel like? It's your only way, or you just want to do it? Cool. But it's not me being against sex work, is what I'm saying here to you guys. But these girls, if they're in an environment where there's an aunt who's constantly telling them, you grow up with that teaching, and sometimes it doesn't work, but other times it does. And those are the goals that we need to get to. We cannot allow girls to think that money is not that important. We simply cannot. That little boy needs to buy her a fucking PS that says, will you go out with me? And she can eat it and say no. That's what we need to teach them. That there needs to be effort, and the many. That way we can avoid these situations. Because men know money is important. A man will dump me for a nurse with a polo. He will, to make his life simpler. I've seen it with my eyes. I don't care if he says he's in love with me, right? If a girl with better means came along, he will definitely leave me to advance himself. And I can't be confused about that. They understand it. What they do is try to shame you out of it so that you can, like, because you're so concerned with not appearing to be a prostitute. I don't want it to be like one reka, so what? You're just handing it out for free. Then, like, what does that make you? Less than smart? Because it like, if you're not a prostitute and your whole thing is you're gonna give it up for, like, to a brokey to prove your non-prostitutionness of it all, for what? Like, what virtue is there? Like, what award is there for that virtue signaling? Like, what are you gonna get? A baby with a dummy in a shack. Yeah, that's the prize. You get up on that podium by yourself when he runs off, because that's what the fuck he's gonna do. But that's what I'm gonna say. That's literally my entire chat. Money is important. Let's quit lying to the little girls. Mwah. Bye, Yella.